Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If it's your first time to my channel, hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a family nurse practitioner and I work here at the urgent care. So you guys are going to hang out with me for 11 hours today. I actually picked up a shift for a coworker. She got sick. Usually when I end up picking up a shift, for some reason, it gets super busy. It's a crazy day and I end up regretting it. Like, why did I ever pick up this shift? But hopefully that's not the case today. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. My first patient of the day came in complaining of skin sensitivity and a rash to her back. So she lifted up her shirt and showed me this. I diagnosed her with shingles. I put her on a 7-day course of valciclovir, and I recommended NSAIDs for pain relief. So my next patient came in with a cerumen impaction. It took me a minute, but I finally become a believer in these earwax softening drops. So I let these sit in the ear for a few minutes, flush the ear out, and here are the results. My next patient came in for a DOT physical. So this patient was an interesting case because he had monocular vision, aka he was completely blind in his left eye. I remember learning about this when I became a certified medical examiner, but I had to refresh myself quickly on how to handle this case. So he brought a vision evaluation report from his ophthalmologist and he met all my requirements, so I ultimately ended up certifying him for 1 year. So I had a little boy come in and he had a fever of 100.3. He was nauseous. He had vomited twice this morning. Anytime I see a kid that has any type of GI symptoms, the first thing that I think about is some sort of an infection. So I asked the patient if he had pain anywhere, and he said his throat. So as soon as I looked at his throat, his tonsils were huge. They were red. I swabbed him for strep, and it actually was positive. So I ultimately ended up sending over a prescription for amoxicillin to the pharmacy. Anytime a kid comes in with GI symptoms, you definitely do not want to miss an infection because ear infection, strep throat, oftentimes these pediatric patients are going to come in with GI symptoms. An elderly patient came in with a skin tear to his left cheek. So the wind was blowing hard and the car door smacked him in the face. So once I cleared him neurologically, I went ahead and I cleansed the wound and dressed it. Our clinic offers semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss. Patients complete a consultation with me, and then if I clear them medically, I order the medication. It's typically delivered within 48 hours to the clinic. I fill the syringes, and then I teach patients how to inject themselves at home. My next patient was a little girl who hurt her ankle while playing on her scooter. X-ray imaging was negative and I diagnosed her with an ankle sprain. We ACE wrapped her ankle and discharged her with activity modifications and instructions to compress, elevate, ice, and use ibuprofen or Tylenol as needed for pain. So I called myself taking a lunch break, but of course, as soon as I sat down to eat my Chipotle burrito, a patient walked in the door. I just had a patient come in with swelling and redness to her right ring finger. So she actually jammed her finger against a door this afternoon, and she had so much swelling to the finger that her ring got stuck. So she came in asking if we had a ring cutter and if we were able to remove the ring. So I actually got really excited because you guys know I love doing things that I've never done before. And I've never removed a ring from somebody's finger. I've never used a ring cutter. So now is my chance. I found one. I just practiced on myself a little bit. I have never used a ring cutter a day in my life. So with some help from the patient and the medical assistant, I ultimately cut the ring and used 2 hemostats to pry it open and to slip it off of her finger. I got an x-ray of her finger to rule out fracture, which was negative. She had no signs of neurovascular compromise or open wounds to the finger, so she was discharged. So I spend a decent amount of time during my shift on the phone. The most common call that I get is patients calling saying that they were diagnosed 1 or 2 days ago and they've been taking their prescription and they don't feel any better. Other calls are me calling patients back with lab results. Sometimes I'm speaking with the pharmacy regarding a prescription, and then on occasion, I'll get that random person who's calling who's not a patient at all, and they're asking me for medical advice, which I don't give over the phone, but I do encourage them to come into the clinic to be evaluated. So my next patient came in with a persistent cough and chest congestion. Her PCP actually sent her over with a order for a chest x-ray, which I did get. It was negative, and I ultimately ended up diagnosing her with bronchitis. So I suggested some over-the-counter remedies like Mucinex, and I sent over an albuterol inhaler for her to use as needed for wheezing. So it is 7:03 and I'm officially off work. So happy. There's something about when the weather changes that just really uplifts my mood. So I'm just so happy that summer is finally here. One of the best things about getting comfortable with a job and just finally reaching that level where you feel totally at ease and at peace with everything that you're doing, it's a beautiful thing. And I think I'm just about at that point at the urgent care. Something that I do is I self-sabotage and I ultimately get bored with what I'm doing when I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. And so I'm trying not to get in my head about working in the urgent care, and I'm just trying to just be happy with the fact that I found a place that makes me happy, that I feel totally comfortable with, that I'm happy with the amount of money that I'm making, and just appreciate it and not try to ruin it for myself. So I'm trying to ignore that inner voice that's telling me, Sarah, try something different. So something exciting that I meant to mention to you guys is that I just got a raise. And pretty much all I did was ask for it. I have been doing some thinking about the amount of money that I make, and I knew that ultimately I was going to ask for another raise, but I was trying to time it right and I was procrastinating. And so the other day I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And I got approved for the exact amount of money that I wanted within, I think it was less than an hour after the conversation that I had. So I'm actually really happy about it. It was a pretty significant raise. I'm proud of myself for just stepping out on faith and just inquiring. The old me used to be so uncomfortable and nervous asking for more money, but I think I'm growing up, y'all. I think I'm maturing because I straight up just asked for it. I didn't hesitate. I didn't lowball myself. I asked for the exact amount of money that I wanted, and I got it. So I'm actually really happy and proud of myself and my growth, because the old me, I would have been shaking in my boots. Shaking in my boots, and I probably would have asked for less money than I really wanted. So I'm happy, and so I just wanted to share that good news with you guys. So I'm almost home. As you guys know, I have a really short commute to work. And so I'm almost home now. I'm gonna hang out with the family. I'm gonna cook. I found a new recipe for some, I don't even know what it's called, but it's chicken. It's chicken with heavy whipping cream and spinach and some other stuff. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post the recipe if I can find it, if it's good. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye. Future Sarah here. The recipe was delicious. I'm going to post the recipe in the video description. Bye.